Number 3, from the men's side, a third aspect, a third point that a man would do that will cause his marriage to be ruined. He will spend time, now listen to this one, because you either know somebody that's doing this, and be honest with yourself. We are not going to point no fingers at no one here, but just be honest with yourself. You either know somebody who's doing this, or you might have done it yourself. Okay, this is the time where you keep your heart open for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. A husband who goes out and spends time, long periods of time, for no reason, just unnecessary, whether it be for chatter, for socialists, whatever the case is. So he's outside spending time unnecessarily out of randomly, or do not even offer a reason or excuse to the wife where he's going. What is he going to do? And you know what's, in addition to this, when she calls to find out where is he, why is he taking so long, he looks at the cell phone and, oh gosh, it's the wife. Don't answer. How can someone do this? Look in the Quran. There is an ayah that Allah Azza wa Jal talks about women specifically, and addresses their pain and suffering that they go through during their pregnancy, during their labor. Allah Azza wa Jal, to do this, and to be so specific, and to pay attention to such an intricate detail to her pain and suffering, this is a miracle in itself. Because Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't do that for the men, doesn't point out a particular hardship as He does to the women. What does He mention? They go through pain after pain. وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. So they go through pain after pain in their labor. And then above that, after they have this child, then they have to feed it. They have to breastfeed it for 2 years. And the women know, and the brothers here who are married, you fully well understand that sometimes even breastfeeding can be extremely painful. Where is the break for a woman? Then in addition to all of this, tell her, she's feeding the child, she just came out of a pregnancy. Listen, go make me a cup of tea. I don't want to hear anything, just make me a cup of tea. Okay, she makes the cup of tea. This is too much sugar, I don't want it, go make me another cup. Wallahi, this is happening right now. This is happening with brothers. I personally am dealing with cases like this. As a matter of fact, there is a brother who went through something very similar. And he asked his wife to make him a cup of coffee. She made him a cup of coffee. When he got the coffee, he said to her that, I believe it was a particular coffee, whether it was Folgers or whatever the case is, a particular brand. He said, I don't like this brand. Can you make me the other one that we have? Okay, this is extreme. Sisters, don't ever do this. Brothers, don't ever think of doing this. This is just to add to some of the flavor to what we're talking about. She took the cup of coffee, she threw it against the wall, right, and broke the cup, and the marriage ended at that very moment. Take a guess how long they were married. 2 days. 2 days. What happened to a marriage like this? They spent 3 years getting to know each other. They spent thousands of dollars. As a matter of fact, I attended the wedding. They spent thousands of dollars at this wedding. 2 days later, it was finished. This happened about 6 years ago. Till today, they have never been married again. Something so trivial. But if you don't do it in a proper manner, things like this may happen. This is a very extreme situation, very rare, doesn't happen very often. And so, in addition to this, whenever you leave the home, and you want to go and pray salah in the masjid, pray maghrib, isha, whatever the case is, think about her. When you leave the house, let her know that you leave. Because to just walk out of the home and have her play guessing games as to where and what you're doing, Even if she was supposed to randomly think, well, it's almost Maghrib time, he usually goes to the masjid, so he's probably there. This in itself is a type of dhulm. It's a type of hardship that you can avoid. You don't do this to people. Don't do this to anybody, especially to your wives. You give them a reason, you let them know where they are. Once the salah is finished, or once whatever you are, whatever it is you're doing is over, and you want to stay, be reasonable, be an understanding person. Pick up a phone and just let her know, hey, I'll be home at so-and-so. Hey, I'm going to stay until Isha at the masjid. I'm with some brothers, I'm going to be with them for a little while. Let them know. Wallahi, women, wives, they will be extremely, not just a little, but extremely appreciative to a husband that takes time to do this for them. Do you see how much of a little effort you and I need to make a marriage work? Do you see what it is? A simple phone call? This very moment. I'm going to keep throwing examples of actual situations I'm dealing with at this very moment. There is a marriage right now at this very moment that is hanging on a piece of hair. You know what the problem, the main problem that we diagnosed from this marriage was exactly this third point. Is that this brother every single day would leave his home, but he wouldn't tell his wife where he was going. So there was the suspicion that perhaps he was doing something that was haram. Eventually we confirmed that there was no suspicion. There was no problem like this. Tayyib. She would call him when he was out, he wouldn't answer. We asked him, what was the problem? Why don't you answer this? I don't like when my wife bugs me. A'udhu billah. A'udhu billah. And we will come to a point like this from the sister, and we will discuss how a sister, if she wants to get information, or a brother, if you want to get something out of your wife, what is the proper manner to do this? And one of them is not nagging or bugging. And so as a result, the brother is getting to a point where, I can't take this anymore. And realize that there wasn't even a problem to start with in the first place. So spending time unnecessarily, randomly, and do not offer a reason or excuse as to your whereabouts. And when she calls you, leave, you hang up the phone. This is wrong. And in some cases, it can be haram. So brothers, be careful. Keep your wives in tune to your whereabouts. And as a result, your wife will not only love you more, she will continue to trust you more. And that is the key. As for the wives,